After a couple of weeks of cleaning, rearranging, moving, and oh god knows what else, I finally got my studio room completed and ready for use. And let me tell you guys, thank God this room needed to be cleaned up. And as you've noticed, one of the bennies is me standing up instead of me being on the chair. Not that I mind the chair, it's just, yeah. But either way, with me standing up, I do feel a little bit more energetic, and plus it might bring in a better quality to my reviews. And now that I have a room that is solely dedicated to just recording videos, you can bet that there's going to be a lot more content on the way. Ow.
Right here.
Hi, Faceless here, and let's kick off this newfound energy with this new movie that just came out this last weekend. However, I think this is gonna suck out my newfound energy. Gods of Egypt. What can I say about this film? Yeah, it looks pretty. Kinda reminded me of playing video games. My god, you've already seen this before. It's pretty much about the Egyptian gods back in the ancient times living amongst us. And much like Greek mythology, there's a god of intellect, god of beauty, god of love. You get the point. Horus, the god of air, is about to be coronated as king of all of Egypt, until his uncle Seth, played by Gerard Butler, stages a coup and pretty much takes the crown away from Horus, blinding him in the process. Then he gets exiled to be all by himself in self-loathing or something like that. After a year of Seth's rule, we find the lower class mortals pretty much put into slavery, building monuments and towers for the god of Ra. The film also follows this thief named Beck, which is really reminiscent of any Arabian Nights or Aladdin story. One of those slaves is the thief's girl, who is still a faithful follower of Horus. She talks Beck into going to the temple to steal Horus's eye so he could give it back to him so that way they could rid the rule of Seth. He of course gets it, and then they try to escape together, but the girl ends up dying. Beck eventually finds the god and strikes a deal with Horus, saying basically, if I help you out, you bring back my girl from the dead. And you could pretty much guess where the rest of this is gonna go. I couldn't put my finger on it, but when I watched it, I realized the CGI, I mean, it was adequate, but it really reminded me of some cutscene from a video game. Hell, half the time I wanted to take a controller and start playing the game myself. I mean, it's not really a good game, but a game that would pass the time. But that's what it reminded me of. The acting was just all over the place. I mean, Gerard Butler, God bless his soul, he was a little over the top. The other characters in the film, I just couldn't, I don't know. I'm not gonna say I didn't like them, but I didn't like them, but I don't hate it. It was just, wow. And the focus of this film, who knows where this was going? I mean, I felt that I needed to pay more attention to the thief because that's who was narrating, well, at least his older self. But they did this constant switch back and forth. It just made it confusing as to, okay, who am I supposed to keep track of? Horus or Beck? I don't know. And this movie was filled with so many cliches that you knew where it was going. Like I said, if you read the old stories about Aladdin, you pretty much got that. I mean, I don't want to compare it to that, but that's basically what it is. And they give this overall lesson that if you're good in heart, that you will go into the afterlife living forever. There were other times that it kind of reminded me of Clash of the Titans. Either version. Except the hero is the stuck-up god. Yes, he was stuck up in this movie, until later on, thanks to the thief who was his moral compass. A thief that steals people's livelihoods to fit his own needs ends up being the moral compass of a stuck-up god. What? I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into this story, and I try to enjoy it for what it is, and I really wanted to enjoy it for what it is, but the movie isn't bad, but I certainly would not recommend it to go to see in the theaters, not even rent it for a night or two, possibly wait till it comes out on Netflix or on cable. So my final rating is a damn D. Well, this wraps up this episode. If you have any thoughts or opinions, please leave a comment below. You could also find my previous videos on peanutbutterdisaster.com, where there are other producers with their content, so check them out. And if you hadn't done so yet, hit the subscribe button below for more coming reviews. But until then, this is Faceless, signing off.
Right here. Peanut butter disaster.